We continue now at the top of Daf Tzadi Hey Amid Beis Mesechet Sanhedrin. This is Sanhedrin Daf 95b. On the previous Amid, the Gemara said that the earth contracted for Yaakov Avinu, and the Gemara now brings the source Tichsiv because it's written in the pasuk Vayetze Yaakov mi Beersheva Vayelech Haran. It says that Yaakov left Beersheva and came to Haran. Rashi explains Vayetze Yaakov mi Beersheva Vayelech Haran Alma Bol Haran. So you see from that pasuk that he came to Haran. But it's also written, as we'll see in a moment, Vayifka b'makom. He came to the place Shadayin lo higia l'Charan, that he still did not reach Charan. Shayadayin beBeisel, that he was still in Beisel. As the Gemara continues, Uchsiv, and it's written, Vayifka b'makom vayolin sham kivo hashemesh. The sun set, so he stayed overnight in that place. And the Gemara explains what happened. Kimata l'Charan, when he reached Charan, Amar, he said, Efshar avarti al makom shezbalalu bo avosa. Is it possible that I passed the place which my fathers davened at? Vanilo hispalalti bo, and I didn't daven over there. So boy lemahader, so he wanted to return. Kavan to hear her b'dayete lemahader. Once he thought in his mind to return, kafsa le'ara, the earth contracted. Miyad, immediately vayifka b'makom, he reached that place. And Rashi explains, Shesbalu bo avosai, my fathers daven there, meaning Avraham, Yitzchak, Avram and Yitzchak, they both daven there. This was at the place of the Beis HaMikdash. Here are B'daite Lemhader, so he thought in his mind to go back, Lamakom, to that place. Kavtza Le'ara, the earth contracted, V'hayasham miyad, he was there immediately. Ukram Mochiach, and the pasuk proves that, because it's written, Vayifka b'makom, it says he reached the place, Shahamakom Pagu, it's like the place met him. V'shekavtza lo ha'aretz, that the earth contracted, V'neskarev lo hamakom, in the place became close to him. And the Gemara continues, Davar Acher, another explanation, Ein Pegia elo Tefillah, the language of Pegia, it actually is a language of Tefillah, it's a language of prayer. Shenemar, as it says in the pasuk, V'yata al tispalel bi'ad ha'amazeh, it's talking about Tefillah in this pasuk, V'al tisa ba'adam rino Tefillah, V'al tifka bi, and it uses the word V'al tifka bi, so you see that it is a language of prayer. And Rashi explains, Hachi Garsin, and this is the proper text, Davar Acher, Ein Pegia ela Tefillah, again, Pegia is Tefillah, V'nir lemori dehachalo migrasa hachmil, so Rashi points out, it appears to my Rebbe that you shouldn't have this text over here in the Gemara, and Rashi also says, Beis El ze Yerushalayim, Beis El, that is the same as Yerushalayim, and Charan is Chutz La'aretz, Charan, that's Chutz La'aretz, that's outside of Eretz Yisrael. And the Gemara continues, the pasuk says, Vayolen sham kivo hashemesh, he stayed there overnight because the sun set. And the Gemara explains, Basar Detzali, after he prayed, Boy lemahader, he wanted to return on his way. Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, Sadik zeh bo lebeis meloni, this Sadik is coming to the place of my lodging. Yiftar belolina, should he leave without staying overnight? Miyad bo hashemesh, so immediately the sun set. It means to say that the sun set early in order for him to stay overnight. V'hainu dichsiv, and that's also what's written in the pasuk. It says, Vayizrach lo hashemesh, it says that the sun rose for him. V'chi lo bilvad zarcha, did it only rise for him? V'halo l'chol olam kulo zarcha, didn't it rise for the entire world? Elam Rabbi Yitzchak, rather Rabbi Yitzchak says, Shemesh sheba ba'avuro, the sun which set for him, zarcha ba'avuro, it also rose for him. And the Gemara continues, Umanolan, and from where do we know Dechala Zare de David, that the descendants of David, that they ceased to exist? That was mentioned on the previous Amud. And the Gemara says Dechsib, because it's written in the pasuk and Sefer Melachim, V'asalya im Achazio, and Asalya, the mother of Achazio, Ra'asa, she saw Kimeis b'na, that her son died. V'ataka v'ta'abed, it's called Zerah HaMamlach, and she got up and she destroyed all of those who are descended from royalty. But the Gemara says Vayishtayir laYoash, but it's not true. She didn't destroy everybody because Yoash still remained. And the Gemara says Hasamnami, over there also in Nov, the city of the Kohanim, Ishtayir Evyasar. Evyasar also remained. Not everyone was killed out. Techsiv, as it's written in the pasuk in Sefer Shmuel, it says Vayimoled ben Echad laChimelech ben Achitov. There was one son that escaped from Achimelech, the son of Achitov, Ushmo Evyasar, and his name was Evyasar. Amar Rav Yehuda, Amar Rav. Rav Yehuda says that Rav says, Ilmolin nishtayir Evyasar laChimelech ben Achitov. If not for the fact that Evyasar survived from Avimelech, the son of Achitov, lo nishtayir mizaro shel David sarid upalit. There would be no remnant from the descendants of David. There'd be no remnant and there'd be no refugee. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rav Yehuda, Amar Rav. Rav Yehuda says that Rav says, Bo aleim Sanhedrin Harasha, when Sanhedrin Harasha, when Sanhedrin the wicked attacked, he came against them, Bi'arboim v'chamisha elef ish, with 45,000 men, B'nei Melachim, they were the sons of kings, Yoshvim b'koronos shel zav, they were sitting in carriages of gold, V'imoin sheglonos v'zonos, and with them were consorts and prostitutes, Uvishmonim elef giborim, and there were 80,000 mighty warriors, Levushe Sirion own klipa. They were each wearing a coat of mail. Uveshishim elef achuzei cherev rotzim lefonav. There were 60,000 holding swords running in front of him. V'hashar parashim, and the rest were the cavalry. V'chein bo al Avram, and similar size armies came against Avraham in his war with the four kings. V'chein asid and Lavon, in the future a similar kind of army will come in Gog Magog, together with Gog and Magog. And the Gemara continues, B'masnisa Tana, in the Brisa was taught, Orech Machaneu, the length of his camp, the camp of Sancheriv, was Arba Meos Parsi, was 400 parsa. Rachav Tzavar Susav, the width of the necks of his horses, Arboim Parsi, was 40 parsa. And Sach Machaneu, the total number in his camp, was Masayim Veshishim Ribo Al Alofim. It was 260 times 10,000, which is 2,600,000. Chaser Chad, missing one, subtract one. And the Gemara continues and clarifies, Boy Abaye asks, Chaser Chad Ribuya, what does it mean when we say Chaser Chad, missing one? Does it mean missing 10,000, meaning missing 10,000? Oh, Chaser Chad Alpha, maybe it means missing 1,000. Oh, Chaser Meya, maybe it means missing 100. Oh, Chaser Chad, or maybe it means missing one. Which one of those does it mean? And the Gemara says, Teiku, the Gemara leaves that as a question. And the Gemara continues, Tana, it was taught, Rishonim Avru B'Shechi, those first soldiers that came, they came by swimming. Shenamars, it says, V'cholaf V'Yehuda Shataf V'Ovar. It sounds like they're swimming through the waters. Emtsoim, the middle group, Avru B'Koma, they were able to stand and walk through the water. Shenemar, as it says in the pasuk, Ad Savor Yagia, that the waters came up to the neck. And Achronim, in the last group that came, Helu Afer B'Ragleihem, they brought up dust with their feet. V'lo Matzu Mayim, and they weren't able to find water. Bin Nahar Lishtos, in the river to drink. Ad Sheviu Mayim Imakam Acher V'Shasu, until they brought water from a different place and they drank. Shenemar, as it says in the pasuk, Ani Karti V'Shasisi Mayim, my dog, and I drunk water. But the Gemara continues and asks, but isn't it written in the pasuk Vayetze Malach Hashem, that the angel of Hashem went out, Vayake b'machana Asher Mea Ushmonim v'Chamisha Elef. It says that he struck in the camp 185,000 soldiers, much fewer than the number just mentioned. Vayashkimu v'aboker, they woke up in the morning, Ve'nekulam Pegarim Mesim, they were all dead corpses, so it sounds like there were much fewer soldiers. And the Gemara says, Amar Rabbi Avo says, Halalu Rashay Gaisos Hein, when it mentions these that were struck, it's the head of the different groups of troops, so it's talking about the commanders that were being killed. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rav Ashi says, Dekonami, I'll give a proof to this as well from the pasuk Tichsiv, because it's written in the pasuk, B'mishmanov Razon, among his fat ones there is leanness, and we understand that to mean B'shmeinim de'isbahu, the fat ones among them, which really means the leaders among them. That's what we're counting among the dead. And the Gemara continues, Amar Ravina says, Dekonami, I'll give a proof as well, Tichsib, because it's written in the pasuk, and this is a pasuk in Divrei Hayamim, Vayishlach Hashem Malach, Hashem sent a Malach, sent an angel, Vayichad kol kibor chayil v'nogid v'sar b'machane, and the angel destroyed all of the mighty warriors and the leaders in the camp. Vayavo beis Eloav, and he came to the house of his idol, Umietziei me'av, and from his own descendants, Sham hipilu b'chorev, there they caused his downfall with the sword. And the Gemara says, Shema Mina, indeed you see from here that we're talking about the leaders that were killed. And the Gemara continues, Ba'meh with what did the angel strike them? Rabbi Eliezer says, B'yad hikam, he struck him with the hand. Shenemar, as it says in the pasuk, Vayar Yisrael as Hayod Hagadol, it says that Klal Yisrael saw the great hand. We understand that to mean Hayad Sha'asida Lipara Misancherev, that's the hand that in the future will punish Sancherev. Rabbi Yoshua says, Be'etzba hikam, he struck them with a finger. Shenemar, as it says in the pasuk, Vayomer Hachartumim El Paro, the sorcerers, they said to Paro, Etzba Elokim he, this is the finger of God, means to say he Etzba, that is the same finger, Sha'asida Lipara Misancherev, which in the future will punish Sancherev. Rabbi Eliezer ben Oshel Rabbi Yossi Haglili Omer, Rabbi Eliezer the son of Rabbi Yossi Haglili says, Amar lo HaKadosh Baruch Hu leGavriel, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Gavriel, Magolcha netusha, is your scythe honed? It's a kind of a sword. Amar lefanav, he said to him, Ribbono shel olam, master of the world, netusha v'omedes misheishes yimei bereishis, it's honed already and standing from the 6 days of creation. Shenemar, as it says in the pasuk, there's a pasuk in Yeshayahu, it says, Mivnei charavos nodadu, they fled because of the sword. And the Gemara continues, Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai Omer, Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai says, Oso haperek, Zman bishul peiros haya, that season, it was the season of the ripening of the fruits. Amar lo HaKadosh Baruch Hu leGavriel, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Gavriel, Keshato yotze levashal peiros, when you go out to ripen the fruits, he zakek lehem, you should attend to them, you should take care of the army of Sancheiriv, destroy them. Shenemar, as it says in the pasuk, there's a pasuk in Yeshayahu, Midei avro yikach eschem, as he's going through, as he's passing through, he will take you. Ki baboker yavor bayom v'alayla. Every morning he'll pass by day and by night. V'haya rak zva havin shemua. And the mere understanding of the report is going to bring terror. And the Gemara continues, Amar Papa says, Hainu damri inshi, that's what people say, Agav urchach, that on your way, while you're attending to other matters, Livel devavach ishtama, you should appear before your enemy. And Rashi explains, Gavriel memuna al bishul haperos, Gavriel was appointed over the ripening of the fruits, and so while you're doing that, Gavriel, he's zokek lo'elu, attend to these, meaning lechel Sancheriv, to the army of Sancheriv, lahargan, to kill them. And Rashi continues that people say, Agav orchach, on your path, kishetelech ledarkacha, when you're going on your way, lefi tumach, just taking care of your regular business, livel devavach ishtama, meaning lesonecho hisroa ve'efchidu, you should appear at that point to your enemy, and then you'll frighten him. And the Gemara continues, V'yesh omrim, and there are those that say, B'chotman nashaf bohen, that he blew into their noses, V'mesu, and they died in that fashion. Shenemar, as it says in the Pasuk in Yeshayo, the Pasuk says, V'gam nashaf bohen v'yivoshu, it says that he blew in them, and they withered. And the Gemara continues, Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba, Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba says, Kapayim sipik lahem, he clapped his hands to them, V'mesu, and they died from that. Shenemar, as it says in the Pasuk, V'gam ani aka kapi al kapi, I'm going to clap my hands, and then my wrath, it's going to be calmed. And the Gemara continues, Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha says, Aznayim gila lahem, he opened up their ears, Vishamu shira mipichayos, and they heard the songs that were being sung by the angelic creatures, Vamesu, and they died from that. Shenemar, as it says in the Pasuk, a Pasuk in Yeshayo, it says, Meiromamusecha nafsu goyim, that the nations are scattered from you being exalted. And the Gemara continues, V'kama nishtayir mehem, and how many remained of them? Rav Amar Asara, Rav says 10, Shenemar, as it says in the Pasuk in Yeshayo, Shar Eitz Yaro, and the rest of the trees of his forest, Mispar Yiyu will be a certain number, V'nar Yichtavim, and a young boy will write them. And the Gemara says, Kama nar yachol lichtov, how much can a young boy, what is he able to write? What number is easy to write? Asara, the number 10 is the letter Yud, which is the smallest of the letters, the easiest to write. Ushmuel Amar, and Shmuel says, Tisha, there were 9 remaining. Shenemar, as it says in the Pasuk, also in Yeshayo, V'nishar bo oleilos kinokef zayis, the gleanings shall be left as in the beating of an olive tree, Shnayim shlosha gargorim berosh amir, 2 or 3 fruits that are in the bunch of branches at the top, Arba chamisha bisifa, and 4 or 5 in a fruitful tree. 4 plus 5 is a total of 9. And the Gemara continues, Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi, Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi says, Arba Asr, it's a total of 14 from the same pasuk, because you have to add the 4 plus the 5, and then you have to add the 2 and 3 as well. Shenemar Shnayim Shlosha Arba v'chamisha, it says 2, 3, 4 and 5 plus 4 again is 9, and 9 plus 3 plus 2 is a total of 14. And the Gemara continues, Rabbi Yochanan says, Chamisha, there were 5 remaining, Sancheriv, Ushnei Bonav, Sancheriv and his 2 sons, that's 3, Nebuchadnezzar, Nuvuzradon, and Nebuchadnezzar and Nuvuzradon, that's a total of 5. And the Gemara continues and explains, Nuvuzradon Gemara, the fact that Nuvuzradon remained, that's a tradition. Nebuchadnezzar, the fact that Nebuchadnezzar remained, because it's written in the Pasuk, Vereve deriviyah, Dami levar elon, it says that Nebuchadnezzar, when he saw them in the furnace, he says the 4th one looked like an angel. V'ilav dechazia, now if not for the fact that he had seen an angel, he must have been at that place with Sancheriv when the angel came and struck them. If not for the fact that he had seen the angel, Menoha v'yada, how would he know what an angel looks like? And Sancheriv u'shnei Vonav, how do we know Sancheriv and his 2 sons? Tichsib, because it's written, Vayiyehihu mishtachava beis Nisroch Eloav, it says he was bowing by the house of Nisroch, his god, Vadar Melech v'Sharetzer Bonav, Hiku becharev, and Adar Melech and Sharetzer, his sons, they struck him with the sword, so you see that they also remained. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rabbi Avo says, Ilmole mikra kasav, if not for the following pasuk which was written, Yefshel omra, one couldn't say it, it would be impossible to say. Tichsiv, because it's written in the pasuk, this is a pasuk in Yeshayahu, Bayomahu Yegalach Hashem Besara Schira Be'evrei Nor Bemelech Ashur. It says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu shaved the king of Ashur, shaved Sancheriv as Harosh, Vesar Haglayim Vegam, as Hazokon Tispa. It says that he shaved his head, he shaved the hair from his legs, and also he shaved his beard. appeared. And the Gemara continues and explains, Asa Kutsha Barichu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu came v'id milei kegavra Saba, he appeared to Sancheriv like an old man. Amar Lei said to him, Ki ozlas lagavi malchei mizrach u'mayriv, when you come by the kings of the east and the west, daisesinu livanayu v'katlasinu, that you brought their sons and you killed them, you killed their children. My amrit lahu, what are you going to say to them? Amar Lahu, Amar Lei said to him, Ahu gavra ba'u pachta nami Yosef, this person, meaning myself, I'm also sitting with this fear. I don't know what I'm going to do. Amar Lei, so he said to him, Hechi navit, so what should we do? He said to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, what should we do? Amar Lei, he said to him, Zil, go, and we will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Vav Amud Aleph.